M80 and the Guard have faced each other 3 times. The first time was in the VCL final, where M80 took a dominant win 3-1 over the Guard. Second time was in Ascension, where the Guard returned the favor to secure an upper final and sent M80 to the lower bracket. And now to top the rival off, they're meeting in the Ascension Grand Final. Winner will be invited to VCT, and the loser is going home with nothing. This is the greatest rivalry in Valorant. Agent selection on Bind is quite similar, with Jett, KO and Omen. These are some of the most played agents on this map since the kit and abilities is perfect for Ascent. You don't need 3 smokes like Brim will give you, and Omen's teleport is great to clear out backside or B and Heaven. KO gives you a lot of ability to scout out the enemy, and since Ascent is such a close cornered map, his knife is overpowered. And Jett is just a great entry for the map. Where it's different is with the Sova and Killjoy pick from the Guard, where Killjoy is a great agent for the defending site with her kit of abilities, while Sova is just good as a scout for sight with his arrows, while M80 have went for Fade and Breach. Kinda with the same ideas, since Fade is a great scout for sights as well with her Iron Prowler, while Breach can do a good job on delaying side takes and helping with executes. The Guard is down 4-11 and is on a low buy with 2 sheriffs, while M80 have gone for a full buy. The Guard have to try and win this round, otherwise M80 will be on match point with 8 rounds lead. The Guard wants to push and makes the fight close since the pistol long range fighting are no good. So we can see that Killjoy is playing close to mid in the hope of catching someone off guard, while 2 players from the Guard pushes A main to take control. Here Nimso is ready and kills Omen and Sova gets stuck. So the Guard is down to 3 players since Sova can't move. Killjoy understands this and wants to take map control, and here it's an insane timing. When Tex makes sound on mid, Koala have to start looking towards mid since his position is not the best if M80 loses mid. Net understands this and picks the perfect timing to push him and kills Koala. At the same time, Sova is able to win the fight against KO, and a 5v4 is now a 3v3. But look at the map control. With all of these kills being traded, M80 have this much, while the Guard have this much of the map. M80 only place is to go to B. And here with an Omen teleport, they are fast to B. Can the Guard do the retake? We see abilities being traded and M80 doing a great job to hold the Guard off pushing them. M80 gets some bad position on site with Fade in main, Omen on short and Breach on site. This is not great since when the Guard have Killjoy, KO and Sova left, these fights can be spotted out easily and isolated. So M80 know this and have to take the fight. And they do it in the worst way possible by giving the Guard 3 1v1s and they win the round.
Starting to land. The Guard are pulling this one back. It's just down to one in the corner, and the Guardian.
The Guard have been so good in retakes, winning 5v5 retakes, 4v5 retakes. This just shows you how good their comp is on defense. But in round 20, they met some problems. The Guard have a full buy with an AWP and Odin, while M80 have gone for a full buy and Jett on knives. The round starts with Trent using a great arrow inside B main, finds Jett trying to run away, and just look at M80 man. There are all 5 players there, and this plays a common one, and why are no one shooting the dart? Well, Jett is gone, and look at M80's comp. Jett is really the only fast agent they have, so what are they going to do now? The Guard smokes off main, but remember, even though it's smoked, it's not a wall, and M80 uses this KO flash, and they run throughs and takes the fight. A great way to play. Trent gets 1 more kill, but as fast as he got 2 kills, M80 are able to trade both kills back, and on 3v5 is now a 3v3. Here as well, look at what Trent does. He walks into the breach flames and dies, killing himself. But Sandra as well just runs towards the bottom, no thought in his head and die. He had a smoke and a flash to force Tex away and does not use any of it. And even his teammates could have used some of these abilities to help him, but it's 3v2 in the favor of the Guard. But for the whole, M80 gets some weird positions, with Fade close to market and Breach on site to stun and help wherever Fade needs. Fade's goal is to get 1 kill. Threat for more in this position would be insane, but B's site is a site made for clutches, so if Fade gets 1 kill, Breach have a real chance of winning the round, and Breach have gotten his ult. The Guard are coming from everywhere, and will make Fade's position quite useless. And as we can see, they did not expect the B main player. Net gets behind and kills Fade, and Breach can't win the fight. Yet again, the Guard retake is too strong.
Through B main. EU is currently watching this angle, but this is all about what they see, what they hear. There's the push up, but Net all collapses perfectly. EU gets caught off guard. Now it's just down to John Cxdy. The status effects of the Rolling Thunder off the table. John gets 1, but no way he turns and burns there. And it's going to be an 11-9 tally. The Guard's starting to really cook with some gas.
The score is 11-12. The Guard have done an amazing job bringing the game back from a 4-11 scoreline. But is it enough? M80 have KO and Fade ult ready, as well as Breach being 2 points away, while the Guard only have the Omen teleport ready. Well, for both teams this is good. M80 have the perfect combo to take site with the ult, while the guard have a good way of fast rotation and information gathering if needed. The setup in this round is that M80 is trying to gather a lot of mid control, with 3 players here and Omen and Breach top mid, with Breach holding for a A main push and Omen peeking mid. The guard on the other hand have went for 3 players mid, 1A and 1B, but the guard are not stopping. Knowing they have the momentum, they will try to break M80 going into overtime, and Jonah P does the push of the round, killing Koala, who peeks too soon and then gets the refrag on KO, trying to trade. Net kills the last player mid, but Omen gets KO, and within 10 seconds of the game, it's a 4v2 in the favor of the guard. But look now, we skip 20 seconds, and the guard are giving M80 all the control in the world. And this is never good, since you will allow them to decide the pace of the game, fight to take, and what to value. So this will give M80 a way back into the game. And M80 takes 3 control and breaks the door. And look at the map, the guard are barely moving. And this is never good, they have gambled the wrong site. A great Omen smoke to block out Killjoy, and this allows M80 to plant. A 4v2 retake is still hard for M80 to win. Nets gets found and quickly the guard is pushing site, one by one. And this leads to one thing after the other, and I will let the caster do the rest.
That hears a lot of this, actually gets tagged through the dark cover, tries to work his way in, John Cutie gets the first one and they reset. Tex with a shorty out, shut down, Xander's gonna get another, it's all down to Trent for a 1v2 situation. Odin in hand, one shock dart. Shock dart gets queued, tossed out. Xander watching on the cross, and Xander gets 4 in total of the round. A 2v4 situation.
The next map in the final was Haven, and here I wanted to show you how dominant the guard attack side was. Agent selection is still quite the same, with Omen, Killjoy and Jett. This is different to how we see Fnatic play with using Astra, but Omen's kit is quite good as a smoker. But where it's different is with the guard using Viper and Skye. Viper is great to add some extra smokes with her wall and lurks, while Skye is an amazing entry fragger with her dog, and her abilities are great on Haven to spot out enemies. While M80 have went for Breach and Sova instead. Since Haven is a map that have so many long range fights, Breach stun will be very strong, and Sova is great to recon out where the enemy is. Faking sight and his ult is great to hold off the enemy. We are going into the pistol round. The setup from M80 is a 1-3-1, with 1 player long, 3 in mid and 1 in garage. They have these 3 agents in mid since they have the abilities to take mid control fast, while they have a Sova on long since he can just use his arrow or drone to get information, and then Killjoy in garage since he can both hold garage and see sight. The guard have set up with every player going for A long, and using this Viper wall, since it's meant to hit the rotation and not block out too much. But make sure rotations are tagged up when they are coming and allowing the guard to walk to A short without being spotted from long. The guard uses the Killjoy turret to hold off any lurkers, and then walks slowly down to A short every single one, and giving away A long to M80. The execute happens with these smokes, a Skye dog to entry, Viper pit, and they walk out. M80 after getting mid control are now using that space to the good and sending 3 players flanking. This usually isn't the best since you will run down the clock, but on Haven it works since the map is kinda built for flanking with how many angles and fights you can take when coming behind someone. The guard gets the first kill but Koala is able to trade. And just look at this Jett fight. Koala gets flashed by Omen and he smokes himself off. Tex gets stunned by Breach, he smokes himself off. But in the end, Koala gets 3 kills and it's a 2v2, but the guard quickly gets the last 2 kills and takes the pistol round.
Koala Noob does collect the kill. It's now 3v3, Valen dashed on, and he still gets one. Goodness, Koala Noob gets the trade. Back inside the Poison Cloud though, Trent very well may have done enough, and yeah, sure does. Gets the final 2 kills alongside Net, and the guard takes the pistol.
The guard is off to a flying start with a 4-0 lead, and the setup from the guard is the same as we saw in Pistol with this Viper wall and all players ready to push down towards short. How will M80 deal with this? Well, first of all, M80 are now 3 players on A and not only 1, so will the guard be ready? The guard have 2 ults ready on Viper and Skye. 2 great ults, 1 for entry and 1 for keeping sight, as well as Killjoy being very close to get her ult this round. While M80 have the Omen ult ready, the guard Viper pit shorts, and then having Jett and Skye holding for the push on short, while M80 have a Sova drone behind the wall for information. Something fun is that the guard smokes off long themselves to block vision for themselves and M80, and then pushes close to the smoke with 2 players jumping through to kill Breach. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Not ideal, but look at rotations. Rotations are likely to come in from them. But look at the guard. The 2 short players are pushing side. But if we look at the bomb, it's rotating. Well, why? Well, when M80 loses so much map control on long, you are forcing them to focus up on this, and rotations are likely to come in from them. So the guard wants to sell the fake as much as possible, and Jonah P does this to the perfect, getting 2 crazy kills. But on C, Killjoy have a full setup, and this will give away what the guard are doing. But the guard uses the Viper Pit to take side control in the 3v2. For some, this might be a overkill, since C side is quite easy to hold, but if you secure the round, it should not be a problem. Well, John have a great spam and kills Viper, stopping the whole idea of using the Viper Pit to secure the round. The guard uses a Killjoy ult to force M80 to wait even more and burn down the timer on the spike, but when both players are playing on long, the Jett operator will be very strong. The guard have to double peek perfect if they want to win this fight. M80 goes for the spike with Killjoy holding and Jett with a smoke diffusing, and if Koala would have stuck it here they would have won, but M80 decides to go for half and then fight in the 2v1 against Valen. But here Valen wins the 1v2 after a great headshot on Killjoy and the guard takes a round.
In the corner. Wait a second, Quality gets this to half. John gets one. This surely cannot happen. Someone's got to hop onto it though, and Valen, cleans everything up around it. It's a 1v2 clutch, and the guards stay flawless on the scoreboard.
It's a full buy from both teams. M80 are set up with 3 players long and 1 player on C. And last player in garage, while the guard are going for a default Viper wall, 3 players going towards garage and last player going long. M80 have given away B since the positions they are going for will make that B rotations and retakes easier, with 3 players taking A short and A long away from the guard. The guard uses this Omen smoke to take full garage control, and here John gets a great kill but is traded instantly. And look, that was Killjoy from M80, the number 1 agent to help Omen hold this. So Omen is in big trouble. The guard uses the Killjoy ult in garage, and even though Omen could have played in this corner, it's better not to, since the guard have a long player who could spot him, and this will be the first thing the guard checks when taking sight, so Omen will walk back towards spawn. And look how Skye is not peeking, it's just waiting for Omen to walk away, but M80 are fast on the rotations and already have Jett and Sova flanking, while Breach is coming towards B. Guard gets sights, and just look at how well they use their abilities to hold off M80, so they can get better post-plant positions. But M80 are fast and gets a great kill through the smoke, and in just some seconds it's a 2v1 in the favor of M80. How did it happen? Well, look at the guards' post-plant positions. They have no players watching garage, and have no more than 1 player holding off the spawn push to site, the main spot the enemy will come from. So here we saw the guard give M80 too much space.
Trades are fine here. The guard have plenty of pockets. Don't have to worry about trying to hold on to weapons here. EU gets another. It'll leave an opportunity here for M80 to start to play a little bit further forward, but try to break down this post plant at long. Very difficult to do, but hold on. EU gets another. Oh, now just down to Val. This will feel familiar. Yep, he gets the 2 again. And that'll be enough for the 1v2 clutch and the guard to get denied.
It's the first time M80 plays Bind in this event and against the guard. So the goal for the guard here is to find out what the weaknesses of M80 on the map is, while M80 is trying to surprise everyone with this map pick. The agent selection is quite similar for both teams, but the guard are going for Chamber while M80 went for Fade. These are both quite different as to how you play them in the match. Chamber allows for safe peeks and holds due to his teleportations, and a money saver due to his other abilities, while Fade allows M80 to clear sight and corners without sending a player to do so. So how will this play out? M80 have full bot, while the guard have forced guns and armor. The guard have 2 players on A, Viper getting ready to take showers, while Raze are backside with a judge. Since Bind have so many close range fights, the judge is actually useful. While on B, the guard are 3 players playing super passive, with Chamber holding hookah, Skye taking info on long, and Brim just chilling in the corner. M80 are going for all 5 players towards A, with 2 coming showers and the rest coming short. M80 are pushing A, and the guard have the perfect setup for this, with Raze in U-Hole and Skye taking B long. And then both Skye and Brim are teleporting, and quickly a 5v5 is now a 5v3. Great way for the guard to hold off for this push. M80 realizes they can't take sight, and 2 of the 3 players are teleporting towards B, since the guard have given it off. But Brim stays since he was too deep to get away. And here Koala goes huge with 2 kills, and then him and the Brim faces off in a 1v1, where both Brim ults one another and Valen wins it.
Double the spike back, and indeed they do. They're going to come through market. Valen gonna go ahead and pop Arc here to flush out the Lance player.
But look at M80, since Brim got 2 kills they can rotate back. But the guard had only Chamber rotating, so will M80 be ready for 2 players on A. Well, Fade gets the first kill, but they are not expecting Trent, who gets the trade. It's a 2v1. Here Trent uses the Raze ult, and I have no idea what happened to it, but he can't fire it and Skye wins the fight on him. It's now a 1v1. Who will win? Tex is in a great position to have. This position allows him to see that Skye have not left this area on site, and his way so confidently peeks Skye here, and he wins the round.
Cxdy will get the plant and back away Off the near box through U-Haul. Still holding pretty close. There's the check, and Tex will save the round.
Brother.
The game have gotten close with a 4-5 score. Both teams have full bot, and M80 have gotten 3 ults ready and are close under the Raze and Sky ult, while the Guard only have 2 ults ready and are close on the Raze ult. M80 are just playing a default with all of the players spread around. The goal is to catch the Guard overpeaking and winning map control, while the Guard is going for a 1-4 setup with 4 players on B and Chamber alone on A. This is possible since Chamber can hold alone for a little bit, while if the rest gets these parts of B under control, the rotation can easily come for A fast. M80 fades ults and sends 3 players long. Here to counter this, the Guard are Viper walling and Brim smoking M80 off. And just look at this execute. Both Brim ults and Trent dies to the ult, while Raze as well gets a kill, but the Guard have killed M80's hookah player. So M80 are all rotating, since when you don't have hookah it's very hard to take sight. And here Chamber can't hold him off when he gets swung, and it's a 4v2 in the favor of M80. And the Guard tries to win it, but the 2v4 they just can't, and they have to save a gun.
Keeps the rest of his push safe. All their spam shots coming through. The Headhunter also out just to try to make something heroic happen, but it won't fully work out. Quick contest though, Jonah P. right through shower side. He actually gets one and can step away now. Still decayed down low, and he'd be very careful at snake bite.
And maybe they have lost the lead to the Guard. This is their chance to win it back. Both teams are full buying and are set up with the Guard just split out to play a default, while M80 are going for 2 players B and 3 players A. Sandro goes for the Viper pit on A short, and this forces the Guard to do something else. But remember, the Guard had split up, so this ult does not do too much actually, since the goal of the setup by the Guard is to get map control. At the same time, M80 sends 3 players over to B, since the Viper pit is doing a good job of holding off the Guard, as well as Nismo getting an amazing position on top of site, kills Tex. The Guard have to scramble and decides to go B long, and look how M80 are holding this, with Sky ready to flash and Fade ready to swing, but they're not playing it in a normal way, with allowing the Guard to peek first and then flashing so they don't have to waste the flash out of like gut feelings, and quickly the Guard are down to 1 player and it loses the round.
Oh, the flash being held here by Cxdy. The Guard looking to try to break their way on through. EU's watching the cross. EU does get the first. There's the flash follow-up coming through. Cxdy does it with the Guardian. Little tap-a-roo.
I will not spoil the rest of the match, but if you want to see some amazing content, check some of these videos out. Thanks for watching.